Hi and welcome to the channel, Danny here. First, I'd like to apologize for not having released a video in about 6 months almost, and for my crackly voice as I have been sick and I'm still sick. But I thought it's time about me getting back in the game and start releasing more frequent videos. I have also in the meantime gotten a little bit better microphone, so your feedback is very welcome. Let me know how it sounds compared to before. Okay, now today's video will be about NanoKVM Pro. So let's begin. Okay, now today I will be testing and showing you how to use the NanoKVM Pro. To be honest, I got this about 3 weeks ago, and I've only spent about, let's say, a day or two messing around with it to figure out how it all functions, pros and cons, etc. And I'll be going through it as I go through this video. Now, for those of you who are not familiar in what a KVM is, or in this case an IP KVM. So an IP KVM allows you to basically connect, in this particular instance, your HDMI, keyboard, mouse, and even the power button to a little device, like we can see here. And this allows you to fully control it remotely. So you do not need to be present in the same room. You can be in another room, at another physical location, in another country. It doesn't really matter. Now, in my case, I had the choice, or I was deciding between the NanoKVM Pro from SiSpeed and the GLI Comet Pro. Price-wise, in Australian dollars, I think they're similar. At the moment, it looks like the Comet Pro is a little bit more expensive. Let me actually have a look. Yep, at least it seems to be that way if I'm converting this to Australian dollars. In overall, I mean, even NanoKVM has a vague spec here. They're not really mentioning. Now, I think this is the normal, not the Pro KVM. And the NanoKVM, I mean, technically might be slower, but it's got more RAM, a bit more everything, 4K, in this case 45 FPS. I mean, most people will only need 1080p or 1440p. This also has a pass-through port, so you can actually have this in line with an existing setup. The eMMC local is fairly quick. It actually doesn't tell me what the transfer speed is, and to be honest, I don't think it's... I'll look at, actually it might be 300, because USB 2 is 480. So this is comparable to USB 2 speeds, which is fine. None of these are extensively fast. Okay. Now this gives you a little bit of breakdown. The Comet Pro has basically the same spec. One thing it does not have is PoE built in. Okay. This reminds me more to the more entry-level Jet KVM, to be honest. In overall, spec for spec, these two devices are nearly identical. I mean, I don't mean as in CPU spec, I mean as in features that they offer. They're nearly identical, with the NanoKVM actually offering NanoKVM or PiKVM, and I'll show you in the interface. You can actually change this up here. We might switch to that and show you, but I honestly don't see a reason for it. Okay. Now the unit that I opted to go is for this one here with the PoE and Wi-Fi built-in. Because I might want to have this sitting somewhere with PoE or USB-C, and on Wi-Fi. Or you might be in a situation where you have no networking whatsoever, and this actually spins up its own hotspot. And when you connect to it the first time, it connects your device to that hotspot, and you can control the device. So to be honest, it has its own basically little little network switch built-in, which I haven't seen many people mention in their reviews. But that's actually very good. Now, I will be posting some of the pictures I took from the unit, mostly the unpacking thing. Nothing amazing in there. I mean, you all know how to look at specs, so they're basically all the same functions. They've got a limited amount of storage, 32 gig 8. I think this is 32 gig as well from memory, 1 gig of RAM. So about spec for spec, what they offer is similar. But one particular reason I decided to go with this is one, Wendell from Level 1 Tech likes them. This also showed up on my radar way before he made that video. But it was still early access, and I don't remember if it was Kickstarter or whatever it is. I just wanted to wait it out. And another reason, this actually has an AI agent. I have not been able to successfully use it yet. It is still very early, and I haven't had the time to dedicate to do that yet. I might make a specific video once I figure all the things out. Now, instead of me going through the specs and reading what you see here, I'm actually just going to switch over to the device. Now, currently, I have it in Tailscale, and I have it on the local network as well. So we'll be able to access it in both ways. Tailscale, obviously, if you're not familiar, is the overlay VPN. What that means is you can connect to this device regardless where you are. As long as that device has some form of internet, you should be able to get to it. Now, currently, I have this connected to my Jonesbow N5 case. It's got a couple of hard drives in there. Just something I had, and I'm using it to do some testing. As in, the basic functions are basically various video modes. This is what you want it to tell the computer what the resolution is. So it's basically asking it what resolution it wants. So if you wanted it to be 4K, you just tell it to be 4K, and you will say, yep, I'm going to be 4K. Quality, the usual stuff, scale, nothing new. Advanced, not much in there. It's more CBR, constant bitrate and variable bitrate, and pretty much the same things. You can adjust a few more things here. Audio, I usually have it off because there's no point me listening to that. It does have a microphone pass-through. You can have a keyboard. You can actually make custom shortcuts. How you want to utilize the mouse. The default is obviously cursor. But if you wanted to use it differently, you can. Now, this section here is mounting images. I'll show you that in a minute. You can actually mount the storage as mass storage, which means it will show up like a USB stick. So if you wanted to upload some things on here and make it mass storage, you can. By default, it's set to read only, so the destination device cannot write to the stick, which I think is good for security. And in general, you would just have it in CD-ROM. You will just mount whatever it is that you want to mount. All you do is click click this little blue arrow, and I actually don't know what I've got. I don't have that on that machine at the moment. I think I've got HexOS on that machine at the moment, because I was trying to revisit that again. Uploading videos, ISOs is as you imagine. You just find the ISO you want, you hit upload. To be honest, it uploads very quickly. It does not tell you the speed, but like a 5, 8 gig, 7 gig ISO uploads in a couple of minutes. In most cases, I just set it and forget it, that it's up. It's up very quickly, so I'm happy with the transfer speed. You can obviously download, well, maybe not obvious. you can actually point it directly to an ISO, so you don't need to download it. For example, if you got an Ubuntu ISO, you can just go to the public website and copy paste the shortcut, throw it in here, and it will grab it directly, which is very good because then you don't need to download it and then upload it. So that's a very clean thing. Now, one thing I find unusual or a little bit weird, maybe I haven't found it. I am possibly very blind, who knows? But it does not tell me how much space I have used. As you can see, there is no storage amount mentioned here. We'll go through the rest of the settings in a second. But in summary, we've mounted the ISO. Okay, once it's mounted, you cannot change the mode. Let's just make sure that that's in CD-ROM, and then we'll mount it. I've already loaded that just a couple of days ago, so we're not going to load that again. Now you can upload scripts, similar thing. Any scripts you want, you just upload it, and you know you can execute them. I guess I haven't done that yet. Now this next part is a little bit. Once I figure it all out, I might make a video on how it works. To be honest, at the moment, because this is like all of them is a Chinese company, the one that it defaults to, let me see, I might have to do it from here. And the one that it defaults to is the Asian or Chinese agents. And I have not been able to get it to actually listen to OpenAI. Again, I've spent maybe an hour messing around with it, probably even less than that. I'm sure it works, but that will be amazing. So what this will do is use a vision model, see what's on screen, and then you can basically chat and say, hey, can you whatever, and it should be able to do interact with the screen and do what you asked it to do. And obviously tell you if you, for example, have an error message, you can say, hey, can you tell me about this error message and how to fix it? What command do I need to run to whatever it is, and install NVIDIA drivers or whatever it may be. At least that's the plan for here. Now, this is very early access. So at the moment, it's very, at least for me, non-functional because I did not want to use this built-in one or find out how it's used. That might be a video once I figure it out. The way you get this going, you just say install dependencies. It will just do its thing. It will install all the dependencies by itself, and then you're good to go. So nothing really difficult there. Now this terminal window might be a little bit deceptive. It is not actually for the device itself. Sorry, it's not for the machine you're connected to. It's for the NanoKVM itself, or the NanoKVM serial port if you've got a little adapter from them. So let me actually just exit out of this, because while that's open, as you see, playback is paused. And will that release it? It did. Okay, cool. Networking, wake on LAN. Some people love it. I've never used it, to be honest. But basically, most computers these days, especially if they got a Pro chip in there, V Pro, etc., Intel V Pro, and whatever the AMD version is, they will be ready for wake on LAN. And what that means is you can just get this device to wake up a computer on your network. You whack in the MAC address, it'll send a signal on your behalf, and then you call it a day. Now we'll skip through the settings first. Now these are the NanoKVM settings. To be clear, we can switch to PyKVM if we wanted to. They are kind of like separate. I'm gonna suspect that there's separate partitions on it, on the device itself. This is very basic. Appearance, I've just labeled it. What you want to show and not show, we can actually just do that because I never use those. That way they disappear from the bar screen. Again, your resolutions, whatever you want them to be. 1080p for me is perfectly fine. You can pick various types, H.264, H.265. I think I can't do H.265 now, might be because of the browser. These, to be honest, I've left them all on, just default. If you wanted to disable the SSH in the device, you can do that. Pass through, virtual NIC, it shows up as a virtual NIC. Microphone, the Wi-Fi, currently it's just connected. So you can use it over the Wi-Fi. For those people that do not want to work, you can use this as a mouse jiggler. But I think the main purpose of this was to tell the device not to fall asleep. I mean, that makes sense. Now, they do offer an LED strip. And from what I understand, what it does, it's, I think, like $20-$30 extra. Is it will actually interpret what it sees on the screen and light the LED strip accordingly. So you could basically have your screen go through the KVM to a light strip, and it should improve the atmosphere in the room because you're going to have lighting surrounding the screen or wherever you put the strip that represent what you have on the screen, if that makes sense. So basically, it's just a visual background behind the monitor or wherever you put them. Date and time, sync now, advanced settings from memory, doesn't have anything specific. I'm not sure what low power mode is. I haven't read into it. Now, since we are talking about power, I have actually observed that the NanoKVM, so the NanoKVM actually has, let's see if this shows us a picture of the back. No, it doesn't. It's similar to this. It actually has a HID cable. It's got a power cable. Okay. And then it's got one that's meant to go to the motherboard, whatever you call the power pins, etc. So in my case, if I just have the keyboard cable connected to this NanoKVM, it seems to be powered on and working without PoE or without a power cable. So it must run really efficiently, and I was under the impression that you needed a power cable. Again, it might still be needed for some USB ports that are not outputting enough power, and I'm not sure if it's meant to be doing this. Again, I didn't skip through the documentation or anything. But in my case, that single thing that gives you keyboard and mouse input can power it. I have it powered with PoE, because for me that's the most convenient. But it seems to power itself on with just a USB cable for the keyboard and mouse. So just so you know. Okay. Now, low power might be something where it clocks it down and makes it work in low power mode. I don't know. Tail scale is very simple. If you needed to activate it here, you basically click a thing. It takes you link it, and I don't recall if it asked me to install it initially, and then it's done. It takes about a minute. Updates, I have told it to do the preview. It was a 1.2.12, which was the latest publicly available normal release. I did enable preview updates and switch it to 1.3, just so I can see what's coming up. And yeah. Now, the one thing this does have is I've gone in here just to have a look. But it actually has, if you so if you had multiple of them, you can actually list them all, and this can be a management interface, so you can connect to all of them from one interface. Now, I do not see it working. I do not see the links for tail scale. That would be probably something that's missing on here. Maybe it's coming, I don't know. Okay, yep, sorry, as I said, apologize, I'm a little bit sick. That's basically it for the settings. I'll briefly switch to PyKVM just so you can see what that looks like. Now the device will restart, so I might pause it. Let's have a look, confirming. So actually back to devices. Now this does have a, this device does have a SD card slot. I currently have a 64 gig SD card slot. So you actually, before you mount the ISO, etc., you need to select in here which one you want to use before you go to the ISO mount option. And the first time you select the eMMC, it will actually wipe it. So just keep that in mind. Okay, now back. The PyKVM. So confirm. We're switching to PyKVM. Okay, I can see the device restarting. On the little screen, it says PyKVM at the moment. It's booting. Yep, doesn't really have a loading bar or anything, but I'm pretty sure we're almost there. I actually don't recall if the PyKVM will give me a different. Just hold on, let me have a look what it says on the little screen. Okay, apparently it's the same IP address. Let's hit refresh. And I think I left this default. Did I? Yep, I did. I don't intend to use it, to be honest. So, I mean, PyKVM are probably the guys that started it all. It's going to be very similar concept where you can mount your ISOs, CD-ROM or flash model. Oh, so actually in here it tells me the usage. That's actually interesting. I didn't actually pay attention to it last time. I just skipped through this. But you can use it in PyKVM mode. If that's what you want to prefer, PyKVM is open source. Actually, I didn't actually check this kit if it actually has the full operating system in here. Maybe it does. So it does say it's GPL free. So technically you can repurpose this for yourself. And there is 13 folks, so not that many. So PyKVM is open source. And this here might be somewhat open source. I mean, the source code is there. It doesn't always mean it's open source, but with the GPL free license, you should be able to use it and fork it as long as you, I guess, give them mention that it's their product. I don't remember the exact specifics for GPL free. Where was I? Okay, so this is PyKVM. Shortcuts, text if you wanted to copy paste things. Macro, that will be the scripts. Drive, ATX. It gives us the default stuff, I guess. I have not used PyKVM before, so okay. And so I just wanted to show you, so we're not going to spend much time in here. Let me recall how I switch it back. So under options, switch back to NanoKVM. So let's watch this restart for a second. Right, we're back. Also curious to know how the microphone sounds. I was using the headset microphone before and I just got some microphone that seems to be decent enough. For this, I do have the AI noise cancelling on, so curious how that sounds. Because to be honest, I don't plan to re-record this again. Okay, but briefly, let's have a look at how this goes. So I do currently have the little USB dongle thing in this computer, the James Bond N5. So I can power it on with just a short click. Okay, there it is, it's powering on. I don't actually remember in what state I left it. So this is 1080p resolution, so we could go full screen. We couldn't do the scaling thing, but I'll just leave it as this. Okay, so let's just hold on. Up here. Okay, I did unmount everything. It's probably when I switched. That's cool, because I do not want it to boot from anything. But in summary, so the benefit of the PyKVM and other IP KVMs is you can actually turn on a device from cold boot, also shut it down, restart it remotely without having to be present in the same room or same location whatsoever. So, okay. I was a little bit, why is it not booting? I rarely use this machine. I just put it together a couple of months ago to do some testing. And currently there's HexOS on there. So I might be redoing a revisit of HexOS to see where it's gone in the last year or so. It has improved. But yeah, as you can see, so if we were installing an operating system or whatever, we would be able to fully do everything with the device regardless where we are. That is the same with the mounted ISO, because they're currently local on the device. That works very quick. Should be probably comparable to USB 2 speeds, but for most cases, that's plenty. Might actually be even faster than USB 2 speeds, to be honest, based on the copying speeds I visually observed. Okay, this is just booting HexOS. So the main concept here was just for me to show you, you can just control it fully. And if we did wanted to mess with the scale, and 1440. So now that computer thinks this is a 1440 screen. If we wanted 4K, it's gonna say 4K. And yeah, these two options are usually enabled. This might be because we're using LibreFox, which is a Firefox offshoot. But again, we probably don't need to bother watching this load. I'll shut it down as soon as this video is over. So let's go back to the PyKVM website. Okay, so this is basically the PyKVM. And there's nothing really remarkable on the device. I like the 4K pass-through, even though I did a second ago skip through this. So as you see, this Comet Pro is also available, slightly more expensive. As I said, the drawback, but on this one here, one, it does not have PoE built in. So you actually need to get a PoE splitter, which for me is more dongles that I need to carry around or worry about. In my case, most places I work around with where I might be using it, to be honest, will primarily be at home. Have some form of PoE. So I just whack it in there, plug things in, and stuff is working. And the fact that this is able to power itself just on a single USB and has Wi-Fi built in and has its own Wi-Fi hotspot if you switch it. I will link a video to this channel here before. He actually has some very good points there, and he shows you more things that I'm gonna just not bother repeating. You can, as you see here up in the little trailer from Rob, make it display on the little screen. The little screen has a fair few functions. You could technically program apps for the little screen on there. It is a touch screen. It has a little dial. that you can utilize. That is the little, so I'll post this video below so you guys can skip through that as well. And he went over in great detail about most things that I just don't see a point repeating. So you may as well just go over there and give him a like. Okay, now, is this device for everybody? To be honest, no. Is it expensive? I would say yes. Is it worth the money? In my case, I would say yes. If this was about $50 cheaper, I probably would have gotten 2 or 3 of them just to have them. If you are looking for a cheaper alternative, the Jet KVM is a little bit cheaper. I think it ends up being about half the price. Now, I think this is American. So for most people, something like the Jet KVM will be fine. It does not have PoE, and I think does not have Wi-Fi. So, but beyond that, this is more a luxury device. You'd get it if you think you need it, if you're gonna make use for it. Now, I probably got this so I can more easily do little labs from anywhere, and not having to crawl on the desk and bring up monitors to connect something. I just connect this to it and do whatever I need to. I do not need to worry which USB stick works, which one I've deleted, and which one is corrupt or overheats, making the install crash. So cons to some of the devices. So let's go over the issues I did have. Now, one of these is probably a skill issue, or to be honest, the documentation is a little bit lacking in regard to how you. I got mine from AliExpress. It got here probably in about a week, and 2 weeks, maybe less. I think I paid just around $200 with shipping and everything. I got this model here. I don't know. I got it from the official size speed. So yeah, so that's it. So that probably adds up. Where was I? I forgot. I mean, regardless, for some reason I forgot where I was. So for people that do not need all the fancy things like the PoE built-in and the Wi-Fi built-in, I'd probably say Jet KVM. I almost bought 3 of these a while back. I had them in my cart for a while, and I was deciding to buy them so I can have them a little bit here or there. But as I said, the lack of PoE and having to power it slightly differently, and the no Wi-Fi, because in my case, I don't need Wi-Fi sometimes. It also, this can come in, for example, if I'm in a data center and I do not want to be on the hot side forever, because that's what the network, sorry, the display, sorry, the monitor cables are. So you could just throw this back there, power it in one way or another, and then go back to the cold side, which, as the name implies, is cold. So for me, this has a lot of benefits. It's going to save me a lot of time and give me the flexibility to make more tests, more in-depth tests, easier switch between devices because it's just a USB cable and a HDMI. The device is very tiny. I mean, I'm not sure if they've got any, but it's very small. I don't even know what to compare it to. It's, I mean, I use it. It sits under the desk at the moment, and it's set in clock mode when it's not in use. But as I said, skip through this video. He makes a few great points about the devices as well. So pros and cons, the issues I had. Okay, so that's where I was going. The motherboard connector you connect it to this last port here. Again, it looks the same on the other side for the KVM desktop one. And it works by itself. It has a little pass-through pins that you're meant to connect to your computer, so you can still use your button. I had problems patching it in correctly. Maybe my labeling on the thing is off, or whatever the case is. That might be a me thing, probably is, to be honest, because the computer is under the desk. It's a little bit hard to crawl and read and click things in correctly. So I had that problem. My second problem I had is I've got some devices here that are HP micros. Sometimes, and again, it could be the unit that I've got because they're all older units. I have not tested on the multiple ones that I've got. On one of these that I randomly will wipe that I've got here sitting on top of my desk. On that one, sometimes it will, I hear the computer doing some clicking noises, and then the monitor does not display anything. Almost sounds like a relay clicking. But if I restart the computer, most of the time it's fine. Sometimes I restart the PyKVM, it's fine. I understand that the PyKVM is meant to be there to make your life easier. And I have no way to know if it's the PyKVM. I mean, I have if I took multiple devices and tested them. But I do not want to be restarting multiple devices just to test the unit. But I thought I mentioned it here. I did have some issues with an output from HP Micro. This is like a 10th gen Elite S Pro, I think, 800 or something. That sometimes does not like the PyKVM. And I don't know why. It is weird that I hear clicking. So to be honest, I would suspect that it's something to do with the computer itself rather than the PyKVM, because with a few other tests I've done with my computer and a laptop that I've got here on my desk, it worked perfectly fine. But I thought I mentioned it here. So the other con is the documentation on their website is a little bit scarce. Probably not the best documentation in the world in regard to what to do, how what works, and the little AI thing, this little agent thing. The documentation or the GitHub has not been updated in 4 to 6 months. It doesn't really tell you anything. That's why I was unable to get the AI function working with OpenAI. And I could probably fork it and add Olama or something in there to do local AI. I might still do that at some point. So yeah, it's a lot of mumbling. I have no idea how many minutes this video will be. Probably very long. Again, I am testing this microphone. I'm trying to speak a little bit clearer because I've had a lot of complaints that my voice was too quiet. And that's why it took a little bit of time to find a reasonably cheap but good sounding microphone, at least based on reviews. That's yet to be seen. It can't be worse than the headset. Response time on here, I have not had any problems. It's very snappy. As I said, that's currently HexOS. Yeah, so device, is it good for everyone? No. Good value for money. If you need the functions, I'd say yes. Because if you try to put together your own PyKVM with similar functions, you'll probably end up paying the same or more. Where this is just pre-built, it's all there. You don't need to do anything. Runs really well. There's a reasonable amount of community out there with this device. So I'll definitely be using in other videos. You're going to see it more and more because it's going to make my life easier. I do have a giant server here under my desk, but because it's very loud, I have stopped using it, and that had IPKVM built in, which is the primary reason it's even here. It is very fast, but it's hums too loudly. to be viable to use in this environment. Also, I do have an aircon running here, so curious to know if you guys can hear the aircon. Leave a comment below. Because again, first time we're using this microphone, so I'm seeing what works and what doesn't work, and if this positioning is fine or not. I do have to kind of speak fairly directly in it, so when I look away, it might go a little bit quiet. I'm going to try to improve that in the future. So go back to this video. Check this guy's video out. He's got more subscribers than I do. He seems to be doing these videos pretty recently, so and frequently, and they seem to be reasonably made. Definitely better than mine. So yeah, I'm gonna leave it at that, and all the little specs, etc. I will I'm going to actually post here later on. This has not been changed since November when I made this. So I'm going to make a little summary, description, specs, etc. here later on. Probably just after the video comes up. So hope to see you soon. Leave comments below. Tell me what you think about the whole thing, about the unit, about the microphone, and so on. And yeah, see you around. Bye.
New rig online, yeah, the rack is hot. Dropping every defense that the hackers got. Always learning more, I don't ever stop. Always leveling up my cybersec. Level up, keep it in check. Always leveling up my cybersec. Yeah, level